addicts, welcome back to The American Girl Addiction. I am back with my Girl of the Year and Contemporary Doll rating, ranking, and review video. So, just as a quick review, the way I've structured my video is that I have given the dolls a score from 0 to 10 in 5 different categories: design, story, their collection, their name. And then the name category really only exists because there are certain names that I just really don't like. So for the most part, you can kind of ignore the name ranking unless I go super into detail. Then there's originality, so that is how original the doll was compared to other dolls, including historical dolls, other Girls of the Year contemporary, or just characters in general. Then they receive an overall score out of 50. And at the end of this series, I will go through and show how the dolls compared to each other. So we're going to begin with Girl of the Year 2008, Mia St Clair. For design, I gave her a 10 out of 10. Honestly, Mia is pretty close to perfect for an American Girl doll or for Girl of the Year specifically. The only thing I might have changed if I were designing her is making her meat sweater a light blue. I think it would have gone a little better with her hair, and I do like when the doll's meat outfit or overall collection has a lot of their signature color. So I would have liked if her meat outfit had leaned more into the blue instead of the hot pink, but I still think Mia is pretty close to perfect in terms of appearance. Story, 10 out of 10. It's very relatable. I like that Mia's family doesn't have a lot of money. That is very relatable. I like her brothers and her parents. All the characters felt very real to me, and I felt like everyone was humanized, even the bully characters, or at least one of them. And I really liked when Mia's helping the class of young rowdy kids, particularly the 3 boys. So I don't know, I just really enjoyed Mia's story. Collection, 9 out of 10. Honestly, Mia has one of the best Girl of the Year collections. The only thing I would change is I wish she had more items. I wish, particularly for outfits, I talked about this when I discussed Marisol in my previous video, but Marisol had a lot of dance costumes, but not many casual outfits. And for both Mia and Marisol, their style was so great. I would have loved more items for them in that style. But her bed is killer. It's amazing. Name, 10 out of 10. Nothing to say here. I think Mia St Clair is a great name. And at this point, American Girl had not used so many M's. Honestly, I wish they would branch out and use some different sounding names. But at the time Mia was released, that wasn't yet a recurring pattern. So I'm good with that. And then 10 out of 10. Mia is very original compared to other American Girl dolls, even redheaded American Girls. And that's kind of the triumph of Mia, that they managed to make her stand out very well. So Mia's overall score is 49 out of 50. Next is Chrissa Maxwell, Girl of the Year 2009. For Chrissa's design, I gave her a 9 out of 10. I really do love the doll Chrissa. I just adore the doll herself. But I do wish her style, her dress and everything, had reflected more of her style. And I'm not sure what it is. I kind of feel like Chrissa lacked a distinct vibe or style. Kind of, to me, speaks to a lack of focus of what the doll was supposed to be. But we will get to that later. Story, 8 out of 10. I really like Chrissa's story, but I think the movie did a better job. In the movie, the characters felt more real. It followed a 3-act structure with an inciting incident, rising action, and a climax, when Tara goads Tyler into jumping and he gets hurt. Splitting the story made the first book feel rushed and the second feel unnecessary, and made Tyler's injury feel less important. It also made Chrissa coming out against the bullies feel cheaper because we hadn't built to that nearly as much as in the movie. That's why I gave Krista a slightly lower score. Her story is fine, but the movie is really great. Collection, 4 out of 10. Chris's collection kind of feels all over the place, and it almost feels like American Girl said, okay, her thing was that she had 2 other dolls sold with her, Gwen and Sonali. I don't know, it just feels like American Girl came up with the idea to give her 2 friend dolls and said, okay, that's good. We're packing it up. So not to be too hard on Krista because I really do like her, but I think her collection could have been better. Name, 9.5 out of 10. I actually really adore Krista Maxwell. This is just a case where I liked other names slightly more. Originality, 9 out of 10. Krista feels unique compared to other American Girl dolls, but she feels like a character who I've seen before. She's kind of the typical shy character in a lot of anti-bullying stories, and I didn't feel like American Girl really took a lot of risks or made her unique. So I still like her, and she's still pretty original. Again, 9 out of 10. But she's not a completely unique character. So Krissa finishes up with a 39.5. Now we get to Laney, Girl of the Year 2010. For design, I gave her an 8 out of 10. I like Laney's design, although I kind of feel like, even though I adore her main outfit, it doesn't quite suit the doll and the theme that they would later go with for her. So I still think she's really cute. She's just, I don't like her as much as some of the other dolls. Story, 5 out of 10. I remember really liking Laney's story when I read it, but it's really forgettable, and going back and rereading it, it was just alright. There wasn't really anything super unique there, and I'm trying not to bash on Laney because I like all of the dolls. I really do. But Laney's story just doesn't do it for me. Collection is also kind of, it's a fine score. 6 out of 10 is a decent score, but it reflects that I kind of feel like Laney's collection stuck almost too much to the theme, and I do like a lot of her stuff, but I just don't think it stands out. It kind of falls too much into, I feel like, the almost generic doll brands. The quality was much better, but there just wasn't anything really special about what Laney was doing. I did like the camper though, even though it was way overpriced. Name, 9 out of 10. I like the name Laney Holland. I just like other names more. Originality, 8.5 out of 10. Compared to other American Girl dolls, Laney at this point is pretty original. However, she does, kind of like with Krista, it feels like they said, okay, if we're going to make a doll who likes nature, Laney and everything about her is just what would happen. So she doesn't feel like a character I haven't seen before, as I mentioned kind of with Krissa. But I still really enjoyed her. So she has a good overall score of 36.5.